Today, businesses are looking to scale operations effectively while improving performance, unlocking new opportunities, reducing time to market, with the ultimate goal of delivering better user experience by having their data close to their end users and at the same time remaining cost effective. Meeting these requirements come with a lot of challenges, among which are cost management and containment, regulatory compliance, local data domiciliation, security issues, cost of expertise, and achieving regional interoperability. To maintain a competitive edge, businesses are constantly innovating, and the new and upgraded applications are putting tremendous pressure on IT infrastructure. If you under-provision your IT resources, you risk facing business disruption, and if you over-provision, you end up wasting valuable resources. In order to be successful, what your business requires is IT resources that can be provisioned in minutes, even with evolving business requirements, without risking compliance and quality, with assured data residency, reduced latency, no compromise on global best practice, and most importantly, no capex. We manage the delivery of cloud services to your organization so you can focus on your business, while we focus on reducing the cost of your IT operations and optimizing your IT efficiency. From planning the cloud journey to design to deployment, Mdxi is able to match global best practices in the operations and management of multi-cloud platforms and services based on public, private, and hybrid cloud technologies for clients across West Africa. As the only West African cloud provider with an end-to-end offering across data center, connectivity, cloud, and managed services, we are a preferred regional partner to the leading global cloud technology providers, Microsoft and Amazon Web Services, to offer enterprise-grade hosting solutions that comply with local regulatory standards. Since 2015, we have provided cloud services and other value-added services, including migration, cloud solution integration, backup and disaster recovery services, and managed services to blue-chip customers. Plan your cloud journey with Mdxi today. Please visit www.mdx-i.com for more information on our managed cloud services.
Hello and welcome everyone to the first in a series of webinars targeted at the financial sector and hosted by Mdsi. Mdsi is a subsidiary of MainOne and is the largest data center ecosystem in West Africa, with 3 data centers in Nigeria, Ghana, and Ivory Coast. Mdsi provides the best-in-class co-location, cloud, and interconnection services to deliver cost savings, efficiency, and improved performance for enterprises across West Africa. My name is Mdxi Ecosystem. I'm the acting head of marketing at MainOne, and I'm honored to be your host at this event. Permit me to start by mentioning a few housekeeping rules. As our honored guest, you can communicate at any time during this webinar via the chat section, and answers will be provided to any of your inquiries, comments, or questions. Please note that this session will be recorded, and the link to the recorded version will be sent to all registered attendees via email, as well as uploaded on our social media handles. To keep you engaged and entertained throughout this session, we have also provided the opportunity for you to win exciting tech prizes that will wow you. So to participate, please listen carefully to the questions that will be asked at different intervals during the webinar and type your answers via the chat sections. We have a team of experts who will be looking at your answers, and then the fastest fingers to get the correct answers will win fabulous tech prizes that are up for grabs. The winners will be announced before the end of the webinar. The agenda for this webinar is displayed on the screen. We'll kick off the events by introducing the head enterprise and regional business at MainOne, Olubunmi Ogun, to give our opening remarks. So please join me to welcome Olubunmi Ogun to the podium to give our opening remarks. Good morning, Bumi.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I was speaking. It was on mute. My name is Olubumi Ogun, and I'm head of the Enterprise and Regional Business, and particularly the financial sector is a very key sector that we work with. We'd like to welcome you to this first webinar, where we're going to showcase some very exciting services that MainOne has to offer. We're already providing services to a large number of financial institutions, and we think that we will add exceptional value to your businesses. So please listen up, and as we introduce the next speaker, thank you very much for joining, and I really do hope you enjoy the session today. Thank you. Majid, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bumi, for the excellent welcome address. And I am sure from the program that we've put up, I'm sure that our guests will have a very wonderful time on this session. To move to the next phase, please permit me also to invite the Head of Cloud Services at MainOne, Akinkunmi Ogunshola, who will be presenting to us the bouquet of solutions and services that we provide to customers at Mdsi that has made us an enduring brand, not only to customers within our West African ecosystem, but also to international customers. So please join me to welcome Akinkunmi Ogunshola to present his slides.
And again, good morning to everyone who's joined. Truly is an honor to have you here with us. I'm just going to spend the next couple of minutes talking about how we can optimize business operations with Mdxi cloud solutions. But I do, if there's any questions at any point in time, please put them in the chat. We have people who are paying attention to the chat to answer your questions, right? And I do believe there's a prize for, the most difficult questions. So please feel free to speak up. Right, so my next slide is just going to be on cloud adoption in general. And I don't think any of this is new to us, but it's good to just touch on, what cloud is about, what are the promises that it, delivers, what is it promised to deliver. And we have quotes here from three of, the world leaders that say, look, more and more businesses are moving to the cloud. Digital transformation is driving cloud investments and adoption. And of course, the growth of infrastructure as a service in 2021 was almost 30%. And we know a lot of this is due to COVID realities, the need to separate, the need to work, over long distances. And we've seen a lot of businesses transform the way that they operate, right? However, in our own local climate and, specific to FSI, we do see certain barriers, right? And what the team has put together here is 4 of the common barriers that we see. And again, if there's more barriers that you don't see in this presentation, please put them in the chat or feel free to engage your account manager with MainOne to reach out to us and let us know what you're facing. But nonetheless, I'll talk about the 4 key ones. The first is connectivity. Now, for many of our enterprise customers, transferring large amounts of data to the cloud can be a challenge, right? And I've put together a quick question, Majid, if you allow me. Maybe this is one of the ones that will get a prize. And the question is this. Does anyone know how long it'll take to transfer 1 terabyte of data on a dedicated 100 Mbps pipe? So how long does it take with dedicated 100 Mbps to transfer 1 terabyte of data? If you have that answer, put it in the chat. I'll talk about it later in the presentation. But the point is, transferring large amounts of data can be a challenge, particularly in this part of the world. The second barrier we see a lot is people asking, what do I do with my people, right? It's personnel. If we change the way we operate, then doesn't that mean some people are no longer needed, right? We'll talk about this barrier. The third sometimes is just, how do I start? Where am I going? What's the right strategy, right? And the fourth, this most common, is we would like the benefits the cloud promises, but we have a lot of legacy applications. In fact, more often we have 1 or 2 applications that were installed by someone 7, 8 years ago, and we cannot find the person, or we no longer have the support agreements with that person, and we really just worry about how we're going to move that infrastructure, to the cloud. So change. And for us, it's really the top 4 over the last 6 years when we started this business that we've had to deal with and become very good at solving. Now, my next slide is just an inside look at what the MainOne Cloud or Mdxi Cloud Service is all about. We do have an Azure stack. I'll try to stay away from technical jargon. I'm happy to do that all day. I'm in the smaller sessions, but we have infrastructure as a service primarily. So what that means is, virtual machines, storage, load balancers, everything you need basically to run your services in the cloud from a virtual machine perspective is available in Nigeria today with Mdxi. We essentially have the Azure operating system, if you like, via the Azure stack running in our data center in Nigeria. And it's been that way for the last 2 years. We also have what we call the private cluster. Now, this is very important because there are certain workloads where you want to keep on dedicated hosts, right? Whether this is for legacy reasons, whether this is for licensing reasons, we do have that availability for you as well. And we make it very easy and low cost to bring in dedicated hosts, but still share services like all-flash storage, like uplinks to the internet, core switches, data center firewall. So overall, still bringing down your cost, even if you are dedicating physical infrastructure. And of course, connectivity between that private cluster and the IaaS is something we've mastered as well. So some of your workloads can sit on traditional cloud, some of it can sit in the private cluster, and all of them communicating like they're within the same data center, which they are. Now, over and above that, of course, what MainOne and Mdxi are known for, connectivity, reliability, scalability. We also have multiple support contracts and arrangements with all the common vendors locally, and we keep expanding that capability, right? Finally, I'll talk about our NOC operations 24/7, and we have a team of experts round the clock, not just for break fix, but also for preventive maintenance. So we're looking at your services and advising ahead of time once you start seeing things cross thresholds. Finally, we've launched what we call our managed service outfit. So over the last 16 months, we primarily are pushing two fronts, where we manage your firewalls around security, and a lot of this has to do with PCI DSS and some of those ISO 27001 certifications that many FSI have to adhere to. And another one, what we call managed VMs, where we put agents on your machines that tell you everything you need to know, from whether a file changes to who logged in or who even attempted to log in, so on and so forth, which really helps you lock down your core assets and at 24/7 real time lets you know what's going on from a security posture. Now, I'll come back to the challenges that we identified, the barriers, and really what are the benefits of adopting cloud with Mdxi in light of these challenges. And over the last 6 years, like I've said, what we've seen with many of our customers that do adopt the cloud is it also gives them an opportunity for their personnel to refocus on business value. Better yet, optimizing cost savings. So what tends to happen is you reduce your overall cost by adopting the cloud, and then all of a sudden your people have to start either focus more on business, creating more applications, or essentially streamlining the applications, right? So previously you bought this massive server that you plan to grow into over the next 5 years, but now you've streamlined it and maybe made it a bit smaller, saving some money. But then as the business is growing, you see a lot more proactive planning and all those kind of things on the part of IT that says, look, we need to grow this server, or we need to have 3 of these services for availability, or we need to segment these services for the different HQ branches type thing so that we can appropriate the cost to the right areas. And you find that IT now starts getting a lot closer to the business from a finance perspective, because rather than just spending on assets that they have to prove that they're going to use, now they're actually having the business prove to them that they need those assets, and here are the corresponding costs, right? So really focusing IT on business value. We see a lot of people moving to data analytics. We see a lot of people picking up skills that are more globally relevant, whether that's on Azure, AWS, or the kind of things that you can also use with their local platforms, or deepening their expertise in the corresponding applications that you deploy, right? How do I determine the right strategy? This is slightly different for everyone we deal with, and we have a certified team of experts that walk with you through every step of the way, whether it's from ideation, migration, design, or the running of it. We're able to work with you alongside our partners, and we'll bring in Microsoft, we'll bring in HP, we'll bring in Cisco, whoever needs, who's the right person to advise. You really want to be partners with everyone in this space to ensure your strategy is correct. Now, how do we transfer large amounts of data, ensuring you don't miss anything? Well, one of the benefits, first of all, Mdxi will work with any connectivity provider. I just want to be very clear on that. But should you be a MainOne customer, then you have an end-to-end offering where the migration is not, someone's providing connectivity, someone else is trying to move the services. It's end-to-end. If it works, it works, and you sign up on the project that it works. If it doesn't work, it didn't. There's no handoff. There's no it's this person, that person. It's an end-to-end service, typically around the connectivity, the data center, and the cloud services, ensuring your data gets from where it is to where it needs to be within the amount of time that you expect. For many of our customers who are, again, MainOne customers, we do have the ability to burst the pipe in some cases, which is basically just making that pipe as big as it can be for the duration where we need to transfer a lot of data. So that's a benefit some MainOne customers would have. And of course, when it comes to worrying about efficiency and legacy applications, leverage the private cluster, right? So we know our environment. So again, we've been here for 6 years, and we do know that sometimes, you just can't touch that server for whatever reason. But we do have a private cluster that, again, optimizes how that server runs. In some cases, if we can ship the application, we will. In some cases, if you need to bring a server, we can accommodate that as well, just to ensure that these kind of barriers don't keep your overall organization from enjoying the benefits of moving to cloud. So my second to the last slide here is just, again, talking about the Mdxi ecosystem. We are West Africa's leading commercial data center and interconnection operator. Of course, we're in Nigeria, we're in Ghana, we're in Cote d'Ivoire. We also have the Azure stack today in Nigeria and Ghana. Excuse me, we have the private clusters as well in both those countries. And of course, the point here is to say you're in great hands. Bring your services over to Mdxi, whether that is as co-location, which might be you bringing your own servers, or as cloud, taking our private cluster or the pure IaaS services that we offer. And of course, we're a tiered data center. We're certified tier 3, we're PCI DSS certified, ISO 27001 certified, and so on and so forth. And again, a lot of this information we can share, perhaps in smaller gatherings where we can get very technical and into the details. So thank you very much for your time. Again, my name is Akinkunmi Olusegun Ogunshola, full name, and I head the cloud team, and I really look forward to working with each and everyone on the call today. Thank you. Majid, over to you.
Thank you so much, Akin. I really enjoyed that presentation, and if you permit me, I'll really speak to what caught my interest. So I like the fact that you took the time, you and your team took the time to understand the pain points and challenges, which is sector specific, since we are focused on the FSI sector. And these are so there are similarities, because these are like common challenges that if you're in that sector you tend to face. And then you went ahead to explain how MainOne and Mdsi are specifically solving these challenges for the customers that we have, and the infrastructure, the team, the expertise, and the ecosystem we have built around solving those challenges. So it's really very fantastic. Well done. And I'm sure a lot of people are intrigued with the information you provided. Continuing from where we stopped at the beginning, if you recall, I did mention that we will be asking a few questions, and we would, expect the attendees, to just provide answers to those questions. And the moment we get the fastest fingers, we will announce the winners of those questions at the end of the webinar. So I would like to start with question 1, which will be showed on the screen. Akin mentioned specific benefits Mdsi provides to customers. So I would like you to mention 3 of those benefits as it was mentioned in the presentation. So please go ahead and just put that up in the chat. The fastest fingers will win. I'll go to the second question, which states, Akin also mentioned some of the global certification that Mdsi possesses. The global certification gives our customers the assurance that, yes, we have maintained all standards across the services and infrastructure and the processes we put in place. So I would also like you to just mention one of those global certification. And yes, and do put that up also on the chat. And I will go to the third question, which says, Akin also mentioned countries where MainOne hosts is Microsoft Azure Stack infrastructure. And I'm happy to let you know that MainOne and Mdsi are the only data center company who have hosted the Azure stack at their data center. So you mentioned 2 countries where this is hosted. So I'd like you to also provide that answer via the chat group. So we would be looking forward to your response. And as soon as we get a confirmation, we will announce the winners at the end of the webinar. So I'll move to the next phase of the agenda, which is where we would have our panelists present to us case studies and their practical examples and explanation of their experience at Mdsi. This session is important because yes, Aki has spoken a lot in terms of the benefit, but it is good to hear, from the user's perspectives. It's good to hear the challenges, the journey they face, the specific benefits they enjoy, and the value that has brought to businesses in terms of the business operation. So I'd like to start first by introducing Omar Chono Egbo, who is our cloud solution manager, and he will facilitate this panelist session. And we also have our distinguished panelist members and customers. We have Stanley Aneto, who is the head of digital solutions at Secure ID Limited. And we also have John Atomode, who is the head of information technology at Champs PLC. So please, you're welcome to the panelist session. And I will hand over to Omar at this point to facilitate the panel session. I would enjoin our listeners to please listen carefully because you also stand the chance of winning exciting prizes at the end of this session because I'll be coming back with the questions to ask. So over to you, Omar.
Thank you very much, Mojit, and good morning to everyone. Let's welcome Stanley and John, who have been an Mdxi customer for a while now. Thank you very much. All right, so I think the first question will go to Stanley. Stanley, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so Stanley, please tell us, what is your cloud strategy and how has Mdxi helped you to achieve this?
Hey, good morning, everyone. And thanks to MainOne for organizing this. I'm happy to be here. In reference to your question, Omar, our strategy, our cloud strategy is pretty simple. We have a cloud-first approach, and some of the key features or functionalities that we focus on are pretty few. First of all, is scalability. We are looking out, or we looked out for a platform that is highly scalable for us to be able to scale, in different verticals. Cost is another factor where, considering the situation in the country, FX is a huge headache to any business in Nigeria. And for a business that is, a bit conscious about cost, FX is a very big issue. And that is part of our strategy. Configurability, meaning how flexible is the environment for us to be able to bring in any kind of ambiguous requests into that platform. Local storage and processing in relation to certain requirements and mandates from the Nigerian government where there's some type of data, critical mission data has to be stored locally. That option is very, very important. It gives you flexibility to be able to talk to any customer. Speed is important. Reliability is very important. And then, you don't want your critical mission applications to be fluctuating. And then security is, I think, almost on that list, to be able to have a secure environment where we can host our platform and not to worry about breaches at any level. So these are key points in our cloud strategy, and we are very aggressive in actually deploying that. Fortunately, MainOne has been able to give us all of these key points. Over.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you very much, Stanley. And you did say a lot. You did mention security, you did mention data domiciliation, scalability, and all that. Thank you very much for that, Stanley. All right, so next question will go to John. John, which of the regulations in your sector contributed to your decision to migrate to Mdxi, and how has Mdsi helped in helping your business remain compliant?
All right. Good morning, everyone, and thanks, Omar, for this opportunity. First off, Chance PLC has quite a lot of offerings that requires a lot of compliance to regulatory standards. One of the major ones is the PCI DSS, which is the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, right? And that was much of a headache because we were unable to comply in terms of the personnel to handle security, to also keep the infrastructure afloat, to keep the infrastructure up and running 24/7 based on the requirements of the standards. So, and having payment gateway, having payment card related offerings became a tough nut to crack until we had a discussion with Mdxi, and the explanation was clear. It was pretty seamless to integrate all of our existing processes with the cloud infrastructure processes available at Mdxi. Most especially the PCI DSS was pretty seamless. We were able to achieve it without breaking a sweat. So for me, it was a huge win for us to have met Mdxi as at the time we did. And as a matter of fact, we've been able to renew the PCI DSS like 2 times again with the same infrastructure. So it was a huge relief for us. It helped us to achieve compliance. It helps us to achieve the security standards that we would have loved. It also helped us to achieve the uptime that we so much craved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. Again, I would just like to repeat it again. With the help of Mdxi, you've been able to achieve PCI DSS compliance and also risk certification. That's correct?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. Next question will go back to Stanley. Stanley, can you briefly talk about why you decided not to host on-prem and then brought your workload to Mdxi instead?
Okay, so maybe we could just talk about on-prem a bit. So some of the challenges with on-prem, I think a bit enormous. Any flexible business today that's is focused on providing functionality and saving costs at the same time maximizing profits, we'll look at Opex. That is the main thing that comes with on-prem. On-prem comes with a lot of Opex, and it comes with it gives you all the, shall I say, all the risk factor involved in it. You have to take care of your servers, your cooling, your power, regulations, certifications, a whole lot, right? And then you need a very robust team to be able to take care of hands and feet for all these servers, operations, 24/7, security, all of that. It comes with an enormous cost. And at the same time, it doesn't give you the flexibility that you would require compared to actually going for a hosted environment. So I would say that one of the reasons why we decided not to go on-prem was, number one, for flexibility. Secondly, was to be able to have some kind of, shall I say, an environment that adheres to regulatory standards, and also to be able to rely on a third party or a partner like Mdxi that has all the experts in place, at a very, very, accommodative cost that can allow us achieve all our objectives. We don't have to worry about, having the best network security experts within our team. I mean, we have one, but compared to, working with, that of Mdxi, it allows us to exchange ideas and also leverage on their expertise in the market to provide us with all the requirements that we need within our environment. So another reason why we didn't go on-prem is accessibility to multiple locations. So some of the services we provide require that this service needs to be accessed in multiple locations at the same time at very, very high speed. And Mdxi, having most of all these features within the same location, bandwidth, fantastic bandwidth, available, support fantastic, uptime super, and after comparing these two, the advantage and disadvantage, it was clear that it was best not to go for an on-prem, but to go for a cloud hosting platform like Mdxi.
Thank you very much, Stanley. You've really said it a lot. You said it, expertise, good bandwidth, like my colleague mentioned earlier, access to 24/7 support, and are all part of the things Mdxi brings to the table for organizations in Nigeria. Thank you very much, Stanley. Next question would go to John. John, how would you advise a company in your sector that is yet to decide on migrating their workload to Mdxi Cloud?
All right, thank you, Omar. I would say that just as has been mentioned pretty much severally on this call, is the need to have an infrastructure with zero worries, right? And when I mean zero worries, we have tried on-prem at some point, right, where Champs invested in a data center, right? The ability to keep it running 24/7 was enormous, right? And the cost of maintenance. And before we knew it, almost all the servers had become end of life. So you have no worries of managing all this tedious physical infrastructure once you move onto the cloud environment. And as a matter of fact, Mdxi provides this much capacities and capabilities for us, right? So I believe that companies that run businesses in the payments industry, right, would eventually, right now, have to migrate fully to it. As a matter of fact, based on some of the relationship I have, some of my friends at the banking sector in the technology units confirmed to me that there are so many of some of the other tools that they use that are purely cloud-based, right? And the cloud capabilities cannot be overemphasized in the payments industry. In as much as Nigeria is still incapable of providing 24/7 power, right? And it still boils down to the fact that if you have to shelve such costs, right, the entire operational overhead can be crashed significantly. And apart from the physical cost, the actual monetary value, you would also be able to save costs in terms of human resources. So this is something that MainOne cloud services provides quite easily, and the cost is relatively competitive, relatively cheap, such that you are able to easily identify the values obtainable. So I know that the financial sector the FSI space is much of an upcoming sector of the country, right? Nigeria is witnessing a huge transformation in that sector, and part of the reasons for such is because of its ability to be nimble enough to adapt to changes. Now, these are some of the changes that is available for such sector, right, to be able to leverage on and be able to capitalize and move on to do a lot of bigger things. But my advice would have been would be that MDX Cloud offering offers this much of a convenience, and just like Stanley mentioned earlier, that the fact that we don't have to deal with Forex to be able to enjoy this service makes it a whole lot beneficial, and at least it's something you can plan. Majority of the payment is quarterly, and you can already plan ahead that this is how much I'm paying at the end of each quarter. So it's easy to, nothing changes, no Forex fluctuations up and down. Everything is just right for the sector. Thank you. That'll be all from me.
Thank you very much, John. You've heard John clearly. If you're a fintech, you need to be hosting with Mdxi. There's so many benefits you enjoy. Data domiciliation, you don't have to pay FX, and a whole lot more. So please cash in on this opportunity. Come to talk to us, and we're happy to bring you on board Mdxi. So yeah, you can also have this testimony for yourself. One question again for Stanley. Before we let Stanley go, before we finish the session, as a fintech, we know you run critical revenue generating applications. How has your experience been with Mdxi in terms of availability, reliability, and security?
Okay, thank you, Omar, for that question. As a fintech, you'd know that, first of all, let me clarify, security as a group, and within the security group, we have a section of security called SID Digital, which I'm responsible for. And in SID Digital, as a fintech, we actually run a lot of mission critical applications that are 24/7 required. Some of them are provided to the government. We are the first fintech in, I would say, Sub-Saharan Africa to be able to deploy an online reservation system for long rail e-ticketing platform. And when you have such projects, it comes with enormous responsibilities. You just cannot take chances with have big solutions, because you have a platform where people are communicating with 24/7, 6 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., constant communication. Reliability from some of the solutions that we're hosting on Mdxi has been fantastic. I would say that we haven't really experienced any downtime, which has been really good, because it takes away the headache of hosting downtime from my list. I can bother about other things, but that is not really a concern for me, because we have a very fantastic team that's in Mdxi or MainOne that is actually on top of the game. I would say in terms of flexibility, it has also been fantastic, because at some time in the business structure or strategy, we actually have certain points in the business where we have to scale up to accommodate throughput or load, or all of the kind of requests coming from different customers. And our platform actually accepts requests and load across the world. So imagine where you have very high load on your platform, and you really need to scale up within the next few minutes to be able to accommodate the next expected load coming to your platform. With the MainOne team, it was like a breeze. Our customers really didn't experience any downtime. Even if the workload behind the scene was really, really massive, the customers really didn't experience anything, and that has been really, really helpful. It has, helped us be able to meet up with our SLAs, with our customers. And when you know that, failing on any of those SLAs to any of your customers comes with some very serious implications. You know that your partners supporting you from behind cannot afford to drop the ball. So far, so good. It's been fantastic. And, it's really good actually having most of our applications on the Mdxi environment. Thank you, Omar.
Thank you, Stanley. You've heard Stanley. If you want to host a robust application with 24/7 availability, as little as 0 downtime, and you want to serve Nigerians home and abroad, trust me, you should be hosted on Mdxi today. The final question would go to John. John, what is your view on the cloud trend in the financial markets in the coming years?
All right, thank you, Omar, for this question. It goes without saying that there are quite a lot of changes in the infrastructure landscape for the financial sector. Now, technology auditors or security experts are beginning to come to terms with the fact that you don't necessarily need a physical security hardware, right, for the defense, for firewall. You could as well have a cloud facility that is fully defended, right? Apart from it being fully defended, you can also buy a cloud infrastructure that can help you achieve the same things, right? As a matter of fact, the last PCI DSS certification that involved auditors from China with Champ Switch was quite interesting, because they were looking for physical devices, Cisco devices, or what have you, whether Sophos devices or Cisco devices that they would have to log on to, and they'll be asking you certain information. We simply just show them everything they would have wanted to get, every information they would have wanted to have was available on the VDOM, on the virtual domain security apparatus provided by MainOne. And it was mind-blowing for them. They asked all the questions that they wanted to ask, and we're able to give them all the information, right? All the logs are well saved, all the security settings are accessible, right? The parameters are just good. And they are gradually beginning to adapt to cloud security, right? Without necessarily relying on a physical device, right, for network security, because the major hindrance, the major problem or challenge, if I might say, for the advancement or for furthering the cost of financial markets, of fintechs, is security. Quite a lot of people have fantastic solutions. They have fantastic innovations. Unfortunately, they are unable to secure them, right? However, we have seen that with devices such as VDOM provided by MainOne, we're able to achieve exactly what a Cisco core switch, a Cisco firewall would have achieved, or even a Sophos gateway firewall could have achieved. So it goes without saying to say that, to mention that there's already a shift, and before you know it, all those physical devices will become obsolete. And the cloud environments, because the ability to manage them has shifted, right? And if you look at it critically, there are very fewer people who engage in Cisco certification as it used to be. As it were in those days, you must have CCNA at least to begin with as a technology engineer, as a technology expert, that you must have CCNA first of all. And however, that is no longer relevant. There's a huge leap in the progress that has been made in terms of infrastructure available for the financial sector. And this is how it's going to continue to be. As a matter of fact, nobody, no fintech in future will have any physical device to transact going forward. You can see people open bank accounts with simple phone numbers, and you don't need to have hardware token to generate anything. You know, all these hardwares are virtually going into extinction, and it is more. It's a blessing for the financial market. So I would say that is where it is going. That's where we're going. And if you are not ready to go with us, then it's going to be a little tough for you to be able to compete in terms of scalability, uptime, costs, as well as performance that is offered by MainOne facility. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. It's been an honor having you on this session. Thank you very much, Stanley, as well. It's been an honor having you on this panel session. To wrap it up, please attendees, you've heard from John, you've heard from Stanley. Let's be like John and Stanley. Let's move our workloads to Mdxi. Let's enjoy the Opex option, this availability, the scalability, the high sense of security, and zero downtime MainOne provides. So please move your workloads to MainOne, talk to your account managers, reach out to MainOne, Mdxi. We're happy to bring you on board. Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much, Stanley.
You're welcome.
Mojit, over to you.
Thank you very much, Omar. And I would really say, extend our appreciation to Stanley and John. It was a very insightful session. And, you know, listening to it, what caught my attention is how Mdsi works along with the customers to identify not just their pain points, their current pain point, but also to understand their drivers and the trends surrounding their sector in order to be able to plan for that scalability and ensure that, you know, 5-10 years, whatever solution we are providing is still very much reliable to them and still very much relevant. And it was also, you know, kind of mind-blowing when John also shared his experience regarding the auditors in China and saying that what we're also providing meets world-class standards. So thank you very much for all those feedback, and the insight is well appreciated. For listeners and the audience, please, if you have any questions, specific questions for both John and Stanley, please put it up on the chat box. We'll have those questions shared with them. We are almost running out of time, so we won't be able to take them at this point, but please share on the chat box and we will, you know, get answers from them and send to you via mail when we are sending you the post-event reports on this webinar. We will move to the next phase. We cannot leave out your prices. So I'll be asking 3 questions from the panel discussion, and please, the fastest fingers will receive prizes, which will be announced shortly. So I'll go straight to the first question. So question 1, so what were the key considerations that Stanley mentioned to determine their cloud strategy at Secure ID? He did mention a couple of considerations that determine what strategy, what cloud strategy they will adopt. I think we can settle for 2 of them. So if you can just mention 2 of those considerations, that should suffice. That's for question 1. For question 2, John mentioned a specific certification that helped CHAN PLC achieve their regulatory compliance. So please just mention the name of this certification as your answer to question 2. The last question, what were the key factors that made Secure ID decide to host their data application at a data center provider, that's Mdsi, rather than maintaining an on-prem facility, that's an on-premise facility? Those answers were also provided during the panel session. So please just mention 2 of them should suffice. While we are waiting for the audience and the listeners to provide their answers, we'll just play a short interlude video also showcasing Mdsi benefits so that you can also watch and experience some of the value proposition which had been mentioned on this call. So we'll go into that now. Thank you.
Today, businesses are looking to scale operations effectively while improving performance, unlocking new opportunities, reducing time to market, with the ultimate goal of delivering better user experience by having their data close to their end users and at the same time remaining cost effective. Meeting these requirements come with a lot of challenges, among which are cost management and containment, regulatory compliance, local data domiciliation, security issues, cost of expertise, and achieving regional interoperability. To maintain a competitive edge, businesses are constantly innovating, and the new and upgraded applications are putting tremendous pressure on IT infrastructure. If you under-provision your IT resources, you risk facing business disruption, and if you over-provision, you end up wasting valuable resources. In order to be successful, what your business requires is IT resources that can be provisioned in minutes, even with evolving business requirements, without risking compliance and quality, with assured data residency, reduced latency, no compromise on global best practice, and most importantly, no capex. We manage the delivery of cloud services to your organization so you can focus on your business, while we focus on reducing the cost of your IT operations and optimizing your IT efficiency. From planning the cloud journey to design to deployment, Mdxi is able to match global best practices in the operations and management of multi-cloud platforms and services based on public, private, and hybrid cloud technologies for clients across West Africa. As the only West African cloud provider with an end-to-end offering across data center, connectivity, cloud, and managed services, we are a preferred regional partner to the leading global cloud technology providers, Microsoft and Amazon Web Services, to offer enterprise-grade hosting solutions that comply with local regulatory standards. Since 2015, we have provided cloud services and other value-added services, including migration, cloud solution integration, backup and disaster recovery services, and managed services to blue-chip customers. Plan your cloud journey with Mdxi today. Please visit www.mdx-i.com for more information on our managed cloud services.
Thank you very much for watching that video with us. And we'll be moving to the last phase of this webinar. And I'm honored to invite Bolawo Atoyebi, who is the sales manager for portfolio business at MainOne. Bolawo will be giving our closing remarks as well as announcing the winners for the quiz and the questions we've asked during this webinar session. So Bolawo, please, you're welcome to the podium.
Thank you very much, Majid. Thank you everyone for taking our time to join this webinar. It's been fantastic. We love the responses, we love the feedback. Very interesting discussions by everybody. We appreciate the opportunity. We hope we can do this even more often in the financial services space. What we found out from the interactions we have or we've had in this space is it's an evolving space, new technology, new solutions, very nimble. I mean, the fintech space is constantly evolving. The microfinance banks are becoming a lot more innovative in the solutions they offer. And as Stanley has said, I mean, availability is very important 24/7. So the space is exciting. And because of the evolutions we have in this space, cloud solutions, cloud services is just the way to go. Buying infrastructure, ordering, shipping, stocking, turning up takes forever. Your competition has probably moved on, gone live, and is already making money, which is the end game for all of us. Also, the capital markets, the rate of processing transactions has also increased. Every single second counts now when you're trading. So it's very important. And I think the cloud solutions which we've discussed, I believe, provide the right solutions for everybody. So thank you, everybody, once again, for taking our time to discuss and to engage us, for the questions and for the responses, for the feedback. And we look forward to doing a lot more business with the entire team and with every one of you. And going to the list of winners, we've, as part of this webinar, right, we've decided to give away some exciting technology gifts. We believe as a technology solutions company, we also, and because of this webinar, we believe we can give our own customers some little tokens for appreciation of taking our time to be with us. The questions were asked, a lot of people answered those questions or these questions. We've narrowed it down to a few exciting winners. And for the first batch of questions, I'm just going through the list. We're looking at first batch of questions for the quiz. Deborah Akin-Bright, it's one of our winners. Congratulations, Deborah. We also have Raphael Olaoye. Raphael, congratulations. You're also going to get one of MainOne's exciting gifts. Shuaibu Zakari, that's another winner from the first question which was asked. Another batch of exciting gifts to be sent your way. Geographical location is not a barrier for us. You will definitely get your gifts wherever you are, and we hope you enjoy them and you like them. For the second questions or second round of questions, we have Olagbaju Adenike as one of our winners, Samuel Adeshokan and Ikemefuna Ameke. Those are our winners for the second round of questions. I repeat, Olagbaju Adenike, Samuel Adeshokan, and Ikemefuna Ameke. Those are our winners for, I want to say giveaway, but yes, the prizes we have on offer. So once again, thank you everybody for taking out time. We really appreciate you. We do not take this for granted. And as all the speakers have said, and the panelists and my colleagues, we look forward to exciting business opportunities from all of you. And we look forward to partnering with you to meeting your business needs. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, in addition, yes, limited time offer. I just got the brief quickly now. What we intend to do as part of our exciting offerings for our customers on a business level, we're willing to give away 2 weeks free demo to our esteemed customers for resource sizes over $10,000 per annum in terms of services offering. We are also going to provide consultancy services, which is very important, and free bustable capacity and dedicated resources to fast track migration. I know one of the questions Akin asked was, how long does it take you to move, I think, 1 terabyte of data? Imagine you having your cloud solution sitting right out in Mdxi, leveraging on MainOne's submarine cable. I mean, it's just mind blowing. I'm sure we can probably do this migration without blowing our trumpets way quicker than that. So take advantage of this limited offer. These account managers are available to progress these conversations. The technical team are available to discuss this further. And we look forward to welcoming everybody on board. And hopefully we have this round of webinar sometime next year as well, with exciting new offerings and with other clients which would have testimonies of the services we've offered to them. So thank you very much, and have a lovely day and week ahead. Thank you, Majid. Over and back to you.
Thank you, Bola, and thanks to the rest of the team. And thanks again to our panelists, John and Stanley, and most special thanks, because if we had all come together and you have not participated, it would have been a colossal failure. But we really appreciate the number of attendees who have taken time off. So far, we have more than 60 people, 65 people who are joined. So we really appreciate you taking out the time to join us. We will love to engage more with you. For us, it's not just about selling. It's more about understanding your needs. It's more about fine-tuning the right solution. Whether it is an Mdsi proprietary solution or something we can work together with our partners, local and global, to solve your pain point for you. So for us, it's about you moving to the next level and ensuring that your business remains profitable. So we'll look forward to hearing from you. We look forward to engaging with you, and we wish you a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us.